Welcome back to even more Fire Emblem Heroes content. Today we're talking about double special banners, but first, I just want to say thank you for all of the recent support on the channel. I've been getting a couple more subscribers, I've been getting a lot more comments recently. It's been fun to read what you guys think about these different Fae-related things, so thank you. And if you're a new viewer, then consider subscribing to the channel, because we have some exciting things coming up at the end of August here. Let's just get right into it. Today, we're talking all about double special banners. These are the banners where they run 2 seasonal heroes on each color for a total of 8. They run them once every other month, and typically they feature seasonal heroes that debuted about 6 months prior. So this one that we just got in August featured characters from like February, right around that zone. These banners are attractive to people for a couple different reasons. For one, it's just that these units don't really get rerun otherwise, except for rare cases like Henriette. Really, it's only ever the annual rerun that these units get, so basically, like Plumeria, for example, who was on this August banner. If you aren't going to pull for her on this banner, then you're going to have to wait for her rerun on the New Year's banner. Additionally, they have that 6% 5-star focus rate, people like that. And finally, there are no pity breakers on these banners, so there's a couple different reasons to be interested in these banners, and for that reason, people really want to know when seasonal units are going to get rerun on them. They want like a forecast of what they can expect in the next banner. It's nice to know what the upcoming banners are going to have, because then you can make informed decisions as far as saving your orbs. And that's why I've actually been doing these sort of banner analyses on the subreddit for a while. Basically, I've been posting my predictions for the upcoming double special banners to see how close I can get them. Over time, I have found that predicting the lineups on these banners, it isn't trivially easy. There are some things that can mix you up, but you can get a pretty good idea of what is going to be coming up here, just based on different patterns and things I've observed before on the other banners. I've got it down to a pretty consistent science. I regret to call it a science, but yeah. I've gotten the last 3 banners predicted exactly correctly, so that's not to brag, that's just to say that the couple of patterns and things I've observed so far are pretty consistent. With all that in mind, I think we should probably just jump right into it. I think that's what you guys came here to see. You want to see what the forecast looks like, so we'll just do that. The only thing I'll say real quick is, for the sake of this video, I might conflate duo units and harmonized units together. I might just call them duo units altogether. That's just to make things easier. Alright, so here is our whole lineup of seasonal heroes from New Year's all the way through the recent Pirates banner. This infographic was created by me, actually. This is a rare occurrence where I don't have to credit someone else for making an infographic. Yeah, I like this kind of format because you can see the sequential order just from left to right of who is up next, and it also kind of divides them into colors so you can see what's going to happen there. We do get 2 units per color per banner, so that's kind of important. Here's what my prediction for August looked like, and of course that turned out to be correct. It was pretty straightforward. Not much to really comment on there, except I guess I did guess that they would skip Kaden, because until now they have never run a 4-star focus character with a duo unit, so that's something you want to look out for when you're anticipating these banners. So we can go ahead and shade those guys out. And now for October's banner, here is what my prediction is looking like. So we can just start off on red. You'll notice Henriette is coming back. So she was just on a Hero Fest banner, but the in-game notification actually said that she will be returning in October. So we actually have confirmation that she'll be coming back in October. Kaden is here simply because if they don't run him here, then like the chances of them just skipping him altogether kind of start to... it starts to seem likely that they're just going to skip him, because If they run him in October, then that will be 10 months after his debut in New Year's. That wouldn't be the longest rerun ever, but it would be like tied for it. I think once before we had a rerun that took 10 months. On blue, we have Minerva as well as Leone. So this one's a little tricky. It could really just as easily be Tana instead of Leone. I only landed on Leone because I figure maybe they would want to avoid a scenario where they have 2 units of the same weapon type together, so that would be Minerva and Tana. So yeah, if I had to throw a guess out there, I would say Leone, but really it could just as easily be Tana. On green, we have Gustav and Katria, so this is kind of interesting. Yeah, we're kind of skipping ahead all the way to Katria. So basically what's going on here is every double special banner has 2 duo units, and in this case, Erica would be next up in the sequential order, but Red already has 2 units on it. So we're actually skipping Erica for now, and the next duo unit after her is Katria, so that's how I ended up with this prediction. It might seem like it's kind of early to run Katria, but you figure that banner was May, and this banner will be October, so that's like 5 months later, which really is pretty standard. The fastest rerun we've seen on one of these banners was actually 4 months, so just to keep that in mind. We've had early reruns before. And finally, on colorless, we have Myrrh and La Rochelle. Those are just the next 2 in the order, so I think that's a pretty safe bet. Colorless is a little weird because we've had times before where they will just pull old seasonal heroes out of nowhere and run them on these banners. Let's see. I think Nephany is the one where they actually ran her twice for some reason, just super randomly. So for that reason, colorless can be hard to predict, but these last 3 banners, it's been pretty straightforward. And in this case specifically, Myrrh is the next duo unit in the lineup, and I think they're gonna want to run her with a desirable unit like La Rochelle. So this is my prediction. I think they're gonna do Myrrh and La Rochelle. So that is everything I have to say for October. You can see things are getting a little messy just because we have more red units to rerun than any other color, and that might make you think that they're gonna just skip Kaden altogether just to keep things, what's the word? Like all together? I don't know. But I don't think they're gonna skip Kaden because out of the whole history of double special banners, they have never outright skipped a unit, even if they are like a 4-star focus. So pretty sure we're gonna see Kaden in October with Henriette. And I guess now is as good a time as any to mention, this prediction basically assumes that the patterns we've observed before stay constant, so there's always a possibility they'll just do something crazy and unexpected. But assuming that doesn't happen, this is what the lineup is going to look like. That's kind of the way you should interpret this forecast. With that in mind, here's what we're looking at for December. Red is pretty straightforward. We just have Selena and Erica up next on red. On blue, we have Tana and Juno. Once again, on blue, it could just as easily be Leone, but for now I have it as Tana and Juno. On green, we have Inigo and Caspar. Those are just the next 2 up in the order, and I guess colorless is also just the next 2 in the order, so it's Saul and Hilda. I guess there's not too much to really say about this one. Once again, you have Hilda running with a pretty desirable colorless unit with auto recovery fodder, so that's pretty good. Oh yeah, I guess I should comment on the fact that it says December or November down there. Last year, the December banner actually was in November because they lined it up with Black Friday, so I put November there because that could just as easily happen again this year. That's all that means, and if it does happen again, that just means that the banner after that won't be until February. Speaking of February, the forecast is very straightforward. It is just the next 2 characters in each color. That's one thing I've observed in these banners after a while, is that they will just stick to the sequential order for the most part. The only times where they have jumped around is if they are, avoiding putting a 4-star focus together with a duo unit, or if they're trying to avoid doing that in the future, that's why it actually helps a lot to do like a whole forecast of the entire lineup. I don't look at the whole lineup just to flex. I do it because it gets the best predictions for the very next banner, not just the ones later on. A good example of that would be a couple months ago, we had a situation where they skipped over a character so that they could do Harmonized Altina with Digincia instead of Kaden. So there you go. That's just an example of that. So while the forecast may look very straightforward for now, things might get mixed up as we get more banners, the dancer banner, etc. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that is the whole forecast of double special heroes. I tried to make a different, like, alternate version of this where they do just skip Kaden because I think people might start expecting them to do that, but I found that it just made things sloppy in different ways, so all this is to say that I'm pretty sure they're not going to skip Kaden. But yeah, that's basically it. I guess I can round out the video by just talking a little bit about the rules and patterns I've been alluding to. So for predicting these banners, the main things you want to keep in mind is just that they always run 2 duo or harmonic units together, and they never run a 4-star focus with a duo unit on the same color. Those are really the only 2 things you have to look out for. Everything else is kind of secondary. For example, we've had times before where they'll run 2 4-star focuses together, so they're not going to avoid doing that. We've also had times where they've run 2 duo units together, they're not going to avoid that either. That's basically it. And what you can do is, if there is a double special banner coming up really soon in the schedule, maybe in the next week, then you can check the subreddit for the most recent data mine thread, and that thread will usually have some kind of indication of what the upcoming double special banner will have. But yeah, that's basically it for this video. I hope you found it interesting or useful. I thought this would be a good idea for a video to throw out there because predicting these threads is something, these banners is something I've already been kind of doing for a while. So, you know, I figure if I'm going to be pumping out Fae videos, then I may as well do one about this because it's something I am interested in. I'm thinking I'll probably do another one of these after the October banner comes out. That way we can just keep our forecast updated with all the new seasonal heroes, so look forward to that. And also look forward to the legendary hero reveal at the end of this month, because I might freak out. I don't know, we'll see. Subscribe for that, and you're free to go. Have a good night.